27.
Be my enemy, seize the victory. Gonna take it all, always number one.
Bring it on! I'm bringing the habit to all foes.
Their entire roster into Asfa, Mozart, Nga, Sam, as well as Z. Wow, this is almost a Cinderella story if they can do it.
Yeah, I like the fact that some teams never change their roster, which is a very, very good chemical and chemistry between themselves. But at the same time, there's so many teams that Damansara Esports, haha, you guys know this team. It's going to be the first lady. We're looking at the new roster. Sugimoya will be the new member. We have Pmpl replacing Flex as well. But this is known as Last Survivor back then.
Yep, and I think, you know, with the addition for Damansara Esports, we have not seen Sugimoya in action just yet. Hopefully, we'll be able to witness that throughout the league. But I think across all the boards, like for example, Dingos, they also add in AG and Bravo to replace previously Marcel. Actually, AG just make a IGN change, but this team as well has also been putting out consistent performance last season. Hopefully this season is going to be a bit more improvement for them.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, EVOS VIP. Quite a good fan favorite here, I'd say. So roster changes for them. So they have gotten new additions from Luxy as well as Samzi moving in from Net Brotherhood, replacing Jazz as well as Putra. Razor, Heiko as well as the Captain Kuza maintains his spot.
Now, speaking of another team here, Gek Fam, they used to be one of the most underdog team last time, but they proved otherwise. Will they prove the same thing this time with a little bit of shift again for their draft of the players? We do have Naoki be replaced here, and also He-Hawks will be taken by Sane, and this will be their first ever debut of the lineup this time.
Yeah, I mean the brothers now, they split apart. One into Flash Vision and one, and you know the other, I believe, into what was the team again? Into Yudu. So it's going to be a brotherly rivalry. But we have J8 Esports as well with one new addition, Botat, and of course DamQT to replace Hydra. Bit of a minor roster shuffle, amateur face in here, new blood, and maybe that's going to elevate the performance in Season 2.
And one of the active teams in the local PUBG Mobile scene, Marlino, came through PMNC as well. So this will be their first season in such a premier league in the PUBG Mobile professionally. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, Jim Carrey, Bin, Noxy, Superboy, Sniperman, as well as Pajin will make their debut on the big stage.
Down to Team SMG, I think you guys know who these are. These are the pretty boys back then. I have to call them out like that because we do know you guys loving these guys, especially for women like me, because we have Bart, Jenny 6, Trixie, the in-game leader as well, but they have the additional Putra this time, which come out from EVOS VIP, now squishing himself into SMG.
Yep, but also we have Tara, who joined, I think last season Tara was in with Net Brotherhood, but of course now I think Tara with this Season 2 lineup, it's going to be a bit more different. They do have a bit of switch up according to what you see on the screen right now. 2 replacement with Random and Wild Horse in. And I believe Random is the face that people may not have paid much attention to, but now you really gotta keep your eye on the ball.
Well, Chuchu has her Oppa, Chuchu has her Pretty Boys, and now we're moving on to Team 8 GMT from Singapore. They top the charts. Sorry,
you have a thing against me, come on, Cloud.
Nah, no jealousy here. No jealousy. But then again, talking about 8 GMT, Trixie, you may recognize him. He played for Divinity Esports in Season 1. So now he has formed this team that comprises of players who used to play for H2O and Divinity. Now they are in here in Season 2.
I cannot wait to see their performance. For the next team, we have another new logo that haven't been appeared anywhere before. So it's going to be one of their debut again this time, Kingsman, which is inside the Cabo's Vex, and also Wagyu, Wolfie, and Tima. So there's quite a decent number of players in there, so they can have a lot of dynamics in the team as well.
Yep, and of course another face, PPG, the first ever female team to make it into a professional league. I think just to get a quick recap, Kingsman was under Cartel Gaming. Great performance, one of the strongest teams from Singapore, but PPG, this is the team where we were all super excited during the Singapore qualifiers. They got 2 chicken dinners out of 6 rounds. And Putri and Fa, these 2 ladies, man, they are ferocious.
And here we go, resurgence, ladies and gentlemen, and I can see Choo Choo smiling, I'm not too sure why. But nevertheless, this is resurgence, ladies and gentlemen. We all do know that they maintained their lineup, Iron Pro Small Boy, Voki, as well as Y2K, and here you go. Chillrex, if you do not know, what? Oh, okay, someone catch this behind the scenes. But nevertheless, Chillrex was the coach and now he's one of the players in the lineup.
Man, I gotta have to give it a go for Cloud sometimes. But still, esports. We do know back then they are actually the sibling team of the PPG, but this time they are segregated. We have the same lineup for this team again by the Singaporeans, but it was a different back then. If I'm not mistaken, a bit different. So it will be a different lineup this time.
Yep, but of course, one of the fan favorites, the team that has made a lot of buzz in the professional scene, Team Secret in Season 2. There's also a bit of minor changes in terms of their roster. I think from last season onwards, they add in Rex as the new addition. But other than that, these faces are the young prodigies that people have been going crazy about. No doubt that Team Secret will be one of the favorite teams to take it all the way.
And now we have here TRX Elementals, who also came through PMNC, ladies and gentlemen. One of the 4 slots was it, for PMNC and making it into the Pmpl. So we do see here that Kim is actually one of the more veteran players in the PUBG Mobile scene, making his, I wouldn't say return. He played the qualifiers in Season 1 but didn't make it, but now he's back here.
All-time favorite Malaysia sweetheart, we have you, Do Gang, the one and only. And I don't think they change anybody, but maybe have extra additional, which gonna be Pmpl. It's gonna be none other than Anoki will be the scout this time, which transferred from Gate Fam. So there you go, we have all of the teams that will be taking part for the PMPL Season 2. And that is something very new. I'm talking about, we've seen their qualifiers. Those actually invited, those actually being qualified themselves in PMNC and also MYSG, both of respective country.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information to digest right here, but I think for the general audience, all you guys need to know is that it's going to be an explosive season. And I believe, Choo Choo has a message for Chillrex. Actually, we all do. Happy belated birthday, Chillrex from Resurgence.
Now it's not special from me anymore.
Oh,
you
okay.
should just say it.
I'm sorry.
Man.
Okay, we shall reverse
We shall
it, Choo
reverse
Choo.
that. That did not happen. Cut
Happy
that tape.
birthday, Chillrex. There you go. It's done. There you go.
Okay, that's done.
Okay, that's done.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Alright, so anyway, next will come out is the pre-match. Yes, as we mentioned earlier, we'll be playing a show match every day as the first game of the day. So the pre-match will be played in Erangel. Well, if you're familiar with the format of last season as well, it's going to be the same pretty much. We're going to play Erangel as the show match. But of course, we may have a different format of a show match, Super Weekend show match, and then the weekday show match. Yep.
And the thing is, the show match this time will have a bit of price, those actually performing.
Yeah, can you imagine?
So they have something to drive them going.
Yeah, can you imagine playing a show match and actually walking away with something? That's even before the official matches begin. Like back then, show match people just kind of test out the waters to get comfortable with their gear. But this one, you gotta really jump into it with full force.
Don't forget to cast your vote. By the way, look at that bottom and you can just QR code scan now. How cool is that? Things has just going way better than before.
Technology.
Technology.
I mean, if you're Malaysian, you should know how to use QR scan by now.
Really?
You don't? Do you know?
I'm just kidding.
Have you
Of
not
course
been
I
using-
do.
Naughty,
Of course I
naughty.
do. But that again, match number 1 here, do drop in your votes because it's going to be Vikendi. So you guys know some teams are pretty good when it comes to the cool map. For example, J8 used to be a different team last time and now they are rebranding themselves. So maybe you guys want to drop the S first. Just a bit of hint for you guys. But speaking of which, Clyde, do you think you have any particular, teams that you are voting for?
This is going to be really, really interesting. It's going to be so tough, but Team SMG definitely has a lot of fans and a lot of people looking forward to see Team SMG. Yeah, especially when we saw Team SMG in the league in Season 1. And for them to transition from the league to the grand finals, the only gap that I thought that time was that if only they have an analyst or a coach or someone to just help them with being more creative in their rotations, they would do well. But now this season, they've added Xavier into the lineup. So it's going to be really interesting to see what does the tactician comes up with.
Yeah.
For you? Any specific teams that you have like? Okay, I do know you have a thing for PPG. Everybody does, but
Everybody.
do you have any inputs for
I
that?
think other than PPG, the other team that maybe some people are looking forward to is, including me, is Resurgence, because previously, Churex is just the coach for the team, but he now is registered as a sub. So we might see him in action, we might not. I want to see how this dynamic actually fits into the team for this season, because now he's not just the coach, he can potentially fill in for one of his teammates in case they feel like the change is needed.
Okay, there you go. From my side, I'm open to any teams. But again, in case you guys don't know, today will be a Group A versus Group B. Just to a little bit of update for you guys, since we're going to change every week for the grouping. It's very, whoa. So, Team Secret, Dinkos, MZ, EVOS, VIP, Access, NRL, MPX, Team SMG, Team Bosku, TRX, Elementus, Steelheart Esports will be in Group A, while Group B we have Yudu Gang, Team No Recall, Westar Expert, Resurgence, Net Brotherhood, Merlino, 8GMT, and PPG. So these are the two groups that will be playing here today. But not waste any more time. Let's just jump in straight into our show match. Il Rangel. And who do you think will fight going down for the first blood? That's what I want to hear.
Oh man, this will be very, very interesting. First blood, well, we know a couple of teams, they really like to go for the kills. Like Resurgence, they are really barbar, as some people would call it. As well as Team SNG have really strong firepower. So 8GMT has shown us as well that in the Singapore qualifiers, you don't need a chicken dinner to actually get that.
Yep, and we gotta give a quick shout out to our observer lineup with the director XCYR, followed by the crew Mamba, Ngek, Zai, and Yota. Of course, Mamba, like in cool black suit. I like that. Someone made a meme, you only had one job. That's what he said.
Yeah,
when he
Mamba,
took
you
that
have
photo.
only
You have one job, Mamba. Come
You have
on.
one job,
But
and
give
you're
the-
not wearing red.
Give the man some props though.
Come on, Mamba. Come on. We do know you have the most game observer out there. He's just flexing it to these guys.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to jump into the game, by the way. They are crossing from Lipovka down to Hospital. So these are the teams. The first day, show match or no show match, it will actually mark their territory. First day, always the most important one, because they will actually tell who will dominate certain drop points. If they can't take it, they will go out strong.
Yeah, and I think this particular Group A and Group B, at least for this week, is super explosive. We have probably two of the biggest fan favorite, Yudu Gang and Team Secret, in this, playing in on the same map. But also it sets the premise, right, for how this whole league is going to play out, at least for week one. Because if you look at teams like, for example, PPG and Steelheart Esports, who qualified from Singapore, a scene that people kind of brushed aside in the previous season, this is their chance to prove themselves against the top dogs.
Oh man, this show match is like, it's a nice flight path, it's a nice circle, everything's just so nice.
I have
Yeah,
a bad
and-
feeling about this.
And just, may I say, great job of production, with all the overlays. And they accidentally reveal where we are. We are actually safe within the blues, within the circle. We have the circle protecting us. That's one thing that I like.
Yeah.
You're not like being protected. You don't seem impressed at all, Choo Choo.
Because she's already protected by someone.
Wow, I knew it. Yes.
I didn't say it. Okay.
Okay,
I
back-
knew she was gonna say that.
Ladies
No.
and gentlemen, there you go.
Resurgence is they're playing, so
Oh my god,
British
come
T-Rex is
on,
not
just
playing
give
in
me
this
a
game.
rest,
So if he's
okay?
listening, he's
I
gonna be
want to
happy.
feel young sometimes, but
You
back
are
about
young.
Oh my god. Back about the pre-match week one, day one, we have a couple of teams seems like to have a little bit of a go against the other teams. Just in Naya being shared by two teams currently, 8GMT. The thing about 8GMT, you talk about Resurgence being super aggressive. The only Singaporean team that kind of last minute emerged with that kind of aggressiveness is this particular team.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree. They topped the charts of the Singaporean qualifiers with no chicken dinner, but they've got good placement, consistent, but at the same time, they top the kill score as well. So bundling all that together, they got themselves top spot into the PMPL. What a great start. Looking forward to their show today.
Yeah, and I think it's also pretty impressive feat, right? You guys cover, how they were aggressive, how they get the frags, but it's also the way they approach those fights. During the qualifiers, we were looking at Steelheart, a bit of Kingsman and PPG to contest the chicken dinner, but AGMT always manage to place themselves in the top 4, or even if they don't manage to get a good placement, their kills always make up for it. So perhaps that momentum is going to carry them far in week 1.
Put aside AGMT and everything else, I'm still hoping somebody will contest Pachinki. But it's still not happening for season 2. Come on, guys. Step up the game. I do want to see somebody else sometimes.
Pleasantly surprised, that this hot drop zone when PUBG first became a thing is now kind of a thing of the past. No one likes to go into that urban district. However,
I think Clap know why. Is this reason, like why nobody else go except for Secret?
Yeah, it's just because there's Team Secret there. Like, how can you like?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
it's their town.
And also we have seen, if you remember in season 1 to 2, whereby we've seen a couple of teams actually challenge Pochinki on challenge Team Secret in Pochinki, like it was the last few days, last few games.
I do actually remember it was
Yeah.
Team No Recall at first, but then things just going topsy-turvy and everything was a mess for them. But at first it was kind of fight against them. It was the Singaporean team, Divinity Esports back then. They
Yeah.
kind of did it well because nobody expected them to do that. So if you catch a person not guarded, they put their guards down. That's where they made a bit of minor mistake. But in the end of the day, it's just the last minute thing.
Yeah, but but when it comes to contesting this urban area, sometimes we talk about Team Secret having probably the most solid dominance over that particular district. They understood how the layout works. But what do you think, if you want to contest a team like Team Secret in their most comfortable area, how should you approach that?
I have to give this a clap because I love making it hard for you. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you always like me to do that, right?
Yeah.
But then again, no. Just stay away from Pachinki.
The best way is just stay away.
Just stay away from Pachinki.
Okay.
Plus, it doesn't help that now if you are too soon, it's 0 points. That's-
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the thing is, we do know Yudu Gang kind of marked themselves in severity. So I always want to see, will Yudu Gang actually be the first team to take down Pachinki onto Team Secret side? Because in a bigger scale of tournament, we do know RRQ will mark that Pachinki for themselves, and there's no way Team Secret going to fight against RRQ. So will it be something different for this season?
I mean, you're looking at the first circle right now. Pachinki is definitely in the center, so there's a huge chance that we might still end up, with the circle protecting Team Secret in their most comfortable shelter. Maybe this is how it's gonna go. Teams will be forced to face their biggest demons, but so far, for these showmans, I'm surprised there's not too much action. A couple of teams brushing each other, PPG and Resurgence. Actually, they are just right beside each other as Woki goes on a bit of scouting duty on that buggy. Other than that, I think right now you just gotta gather your intel and see where the circle goes. A couple of shots fired at Moy though.
Oh, now it could be first blood though, but then again, only one person firing on to Moy, so she'll be okay for now, but she's taking a chill pill while waiting for her team to get together with her. And this is Volky, ladies and gentlemen, actually the one spraying on the shots first, but he's not backing out yet. He's still spraying onto Moy, and now Moy's being pressured, but then again, Moy just ignoring everything and just moving away from here.
Oh, speaking of Resurgent, we talked about them before being the most aggressive one. They just have to pick it against the female team. I do want to see this female team to actually get away with the glory. The first female team to actually go on this big scale tournament ever for the Pmpl MYSG. So can they actually fight against all the other dominating male teams? And we don't see a lot of female teams out there. We do see a couple of teams in PMNC, but not everyone can make it out.
Yeah, I mean, they've already made their initial mark as the first full female team in the professional league. Now they got to take it forward, right? I think that insignia has already been inscribed in the history of PMPL. Now it's time for them to actually prove it with grit. And we all know PPG, at least from the Singapore qualifiers, take a bit of time to warm up and start getting those frags. So perhaps this is the warm-up round. They didn't even respond to what Volky did. They just kind of drove away in their own, as their own, their own party. But they do manage to find shelter.
But then again, just look at this. Moy, who's a really, really good sniper. Now, just putting a bit of a pressure, putting a bit of warning shots here onto team number 21, which is 8GMT. The fellow Singaporeans just across them, but 8GMT, they are out in the open, whereby PPG, they are securing themselves in a compound. Fun fact for everyone as well. So PPG has a coach, and the coach played actually in Season 1. Juggernaut, who used to play
Oh,
for
I missed that
Divinity.
guy.
There you go.
I'm surprised, actually. Nice trivia. But back about AGMT, we've talked about this game before. I haven't seen any Singaporean teams that perform them when they've been cornered. That only caused them to actually, push themselves even harder and further. Back then, when we casted that qualifiers, we saw the fact that they kind of having a shaky moment in the first couple of games. But when they were being in the last minute, they really put everything they have in, whatever they have, into towards the table, and they were actually kind of forced themselves to get even further than that. But this is the
Yep.
circle that really love Pachinki a lot.
And Team Secret is definitely having a great time seeing this circle shrinking. With still with them in the center, but it seems like this time, instead of teams have left them alone, but you can feel the tension in the air that you might see some contest in that particular area. And also, AGMT is one of the teams that if you take the fight to him, they will fire right back. They actually have this highlight in the Singapore qualifiers where AGMT square up against PPG in a direct final circle. That was epic. So they did kind of fire warning shots at each other just now. Not too much of a conflict, but you gotta, keep track of that.
Yep, talking about keeping track, this is the team tracker here, ladies and gentlemen. If you just joined us on our show today and you're wondering whether your favorite team is still in it, yep, there you go. It's the indicator on the right side of the screen. Team No Recall getting first blood for themselves, and Steelheart unfortunately losing one team member early on. Now moving over to Team Secret here, ladies and gentlemen. They have this compound all to themselves, but not too far away. The Dingoes look around.
You really love to overpronounce the Dingoes every single
I love
time. But speaking of Dingoes, they used to be one of the most aggressive team out there, but they were kind of shaky in the last minute of Season 1. But look at AGMT, probably they have to fight against two-way warrior. PPG will force out from their compound. They're marking the territories for AGMT. While on the side of SMG, we do know they were one of the craziest team to flush everybody out. They just hop from one compound, flush them out, kill the points, and just go for another one.
Yeah, and Bard opening up onto PPG, and I'm surprised PPG is actually trying to rotate away. Trixinity though, getting that headshot not onto Jerome. So SMG taking the fights on two fronts. PPG, they're evacuating, leaving AGMT to deal with SMG. So this might be the first direct conflict we see between two teams in the show match.
Yep, this could be it, but then again, the distance is just too far. Yes, you can get the knock, but can you get the end? That will be the second question here. So far, doesn't look like it. Maybe the revive will kick in and then everything will be resetted from there. But then again, SMG, they are playing this fairly safely for now, while just putting out a couple of warning shots, and that's about it. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen, the first airdrop for the PUBG Mobile Professional Malaysia Singapore Season 2, where AUG A3 is up for grabs.
Everything is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first.
First
everything.
airdrop.
The
first
first
of
is always
everything.
fun.
But yeah, back about Matoy. You do know when it comes to dropping nades, he's one of the nades of God down there. He has one of the best judgment call as an in-game leader. But eye shots, when it comes to giving a snipe, is just no way to run from that crosshair. Rex, I like the fact that changed a lot of dynamic if you compare it with BB in the lineup. So it kind of having a different kind of gameplay or formation when it comes to Team Secret, putting Rex in their lineup here.
And I like the fact that Team Secret, they kind of spread out. They already noticed that Dingoes, they are lurking on the church or the cathedral on top of the hill. So this team is going to be the first team to challenge Secret on their turf. So Secret just making sure that no other teams were able to kind of be the third-party intervention. They're keeping on flank watch. But also, just a quick pointer to all the audience right there. We know the production team has been working overtime. All these little overlays on that middle right beside the player portrait. You see their position, their role in the team, total damage dealt, assists, headshots, recoveries. Oh man, this is just so sweet. I love it. I love the production team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is live information. So as whatever happens, it will be updated there. So you can keep track of the stats for people who love numbers, especially. There you go, something for you to analyze on. And look at this, the Dingoes, they are forming up for here. Oh, check this out, Romeo, he's been knocked down.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to wait and see, can he actually be revived by the rest of the team? We have a couple of members by Dingoes there trying to get somebody out of their crosshair. We do have another team, Bosco, who just march into Restar Expert territory as well. They are trying to corner them every way possible to try to connect the dots with that kind of 3 and 4-1-6 there. Aspar, he didn't manage to do flip anybody just yet, but he got return back damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be restart against Bosco. Aspa just trying to land those necessary shots. He's not able to find it though. Playing from behind, he is the scout for his team. And restart, now they are kind of caught in the building as Bosco goes forward. But Moon finds the nade onto Z. And that would be gonna slow down Bosco's advance as restart continues to protect that compound.
Oh, regardless what, these teams, they are in the safe zone though, so they will not be pressured by the Blue Zone anytime soon. But then again, at the same time, we can see here Nga is very interested in sieging down the opponents. But he has another priority. He needs to save his teammate first, Zan, who's actually knocked down.
Oh no, Sam and the rest of Boss be playing very patiently. But you cannot be. We've talked about this kind of play before. You cannot stay at one particular compound way too long here. At this point, Z, does he actually have enough mats to actually replenish his HP at the same time? You're looking at Moon trying to rotate the other way around. They're being cornered here. They are actually clumped up. Or the rest
Romeo?
of Boss trying to actually reposition themselves. That nade will not drop onto anybody just yet. Try to drop another one. Will it actually toss onto anybody else? Nga been dropped down first there. Beautifully well done. And they have to force themselves to revive him. Pop a couple of smokes here and there. But that's a lot of hand grenades being dropped down by Westar Esport.
Yeah, Bosco actually replied with a molly onto Romeo, but Romeo managed to step out of that. Now Bosco kind of have a slight advantage. They managed to circle around that compound, at least gain a bit of distance, but they need to make a choice. Should they commit or should they back off? They did spend a lot of time trying to revive Z, and the smoke grenades that were used in that previous conflict gave Vista a lot of time to recompose themselves as well. So we are going to see a standstill for the second time between these two teams.
Oh, it definitely looks like going to be a standstill. But then again, check this out. Suprolan, he's trying to do something creative. He's going for the flanks there. At the same time, Romeo is keeping Sam at play. Suprolan, if he can get the flank in, he could probably get the backstab. So that is a really good move from Suprolan, but it's also a risky move. He cannot be knocked down.
Oh no, can they go in and finish everything? They can, because expert Moon, he's real scratching. Is that we can see that he is hesitating. This is too long if you ask me. This standoff is taking too much of the economy toll and it's not